Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
After Chu Shang returned, he kept his eyes fixed on the arena where Dongfong Xi and Shui Zilin were fighting. At this moment, the battle between the two had already begun. Shui Zilin was completely enveloped in a thick layer of ice, creating a world of ice within 100 meters around her. Numerous puppets surrounded Dongfong Xi from all directions. The puppets were not very powerful. Some were at the 9th stage of the God King level, and 3 were at the minor God Sovereign level. Shui Zilin, like a commander, directed her puppet army, engaging in a back-and-forth battle with Dongfong Xi. Lacking individual strength, she compensated with numbers, and this was her strategy. Dongfong Xi knew that the best way to win was to deal with Shui Zilin herself. However, Shui Zilin was surrounded by a thick layer of ice, and even with his great strength, it wasn't something he could break through in just a few moves. Shui Zilin was not weak. Being a minor god sovereign, she was formidable. Seeing Shui Zilin's orderly advance and retreat, Chu Shang finally felt at ease. On another arena, Zhuang Bai was also engaged in a fierce battle with Wei Bowen. Wei Bowen used a secret technique from the War God Hall, expanding his law domain. Within his domain, numerous warriors appeared. These warriors seemed to come from ancient times, wearing old armor and exuding immense power. Wei Bowen said in a low voice, "This is a secret technique of the War God Hall. You should surrender early." Zhuang Bai smiled and replied, "Whether I win or lose, I need to fight to find out." Wei Bowen shook his head, "Don't be fooled by your higher ranking. That's because you took advantage of the situation. In terms of pure strength, you're still lacking. You talk too much," Zhuang Bai shouted, and his law domain also expanded. His law domain was filled with swords, countless sharp swords, numbering in the millions. The swords glowed with a golden light, appearing extremely sharp. Wei Bowen looked at Zhuang Bai's law domain and frowned. "Your law domain looks familiar." Zhuang Bai smiled, "My ancestor once joined the War God Hall and obtained a legacy from it." Wei Bowen immediately understood. "I see, you have the Golden Sword legacy." Zhuang Bai nodded, "Then you should know the power of the Golden Sword legacy, based on the metal edge law of the 5 elements." Wei Bowen's expression changed as he realized the implications. At that moment, Zhuang Bai pointed, and countless golden swords shot out like raindrops towards Wei Bowen. The rain of swords was dense and uncountable. Wei Bowen's law domain was immediately riddled with holes by the golden swords. The warriors in Wei Bowen's law domain raised their battle blades to clash with Zhuang Bai's golden sword rain. The laws clashed, and the arena trembled, the ground shattering. Both were minor god sovereigns at their peak, and their clash nearly overwhelmed the arena. Of course, the arena was designed to withstand such battles, even those of true god sovereigns. The strength of the array was beyond everyone's imagination. The current state was just to enhance the battle's effect. The arena simulated the hardness of a real star, which couldn't withstand the aftermath of a minor god sovereign battle. Wei Bowen's law domain retreated under Zhuang Bai's golden sword attacks. He roared in anger, waving his hands to cast a new spell. Spell, War God Iron Armor. The ancient warriors in his law domain grew in size, their armor thickening and becoming heavier, shining with an iron-like luster. Their defense became incredibly strong, blocking Zhuang Bai's attacks. Zhuang Bai's eyes changed, and he also cast a spell. His law domain glowed with golden light, and a giant golden sword slowly flew out. Lin Moyu immediately recognized it as a soul treasure of high level, reaching the god sovereign level. The golden sword legacy likely referred to this soul treasure. Soul treasures come in many forms, not just those that attack the soul. Any treasure that requires a soul to wield is considered a soul treasure. This golden sword was such a treasure, a god sovereign level soul treasure, requiring a soul to wield and capable of merging with the law domain to unleash incredible power. However, Zhuang Bai was not yet a true god sovereign, making it difficult to wield this soul treasure, and he couldn't sustain it for long. Using this sword would come at a significant cost. That's why Zhuang Bai hadn't used it in the first layer. Lin Moyu could see this, and so could Wei Bowen. Wei Bowen said loudly, "You can only use this sword once. After that, you won't be my match." Zhuang Bai was under great pressure, sweating profusely. For a god king to sweat, it was rare, indicating he was giving his all. Zhuang Bai gritted his teeth, using all his soul power to control the golden sword while also taking out the violent sword given by Lin Moyu. Wei Bowen's pupils contracted sharply, recognizing the violent sword. It was Lin Moyu's spoils, now in Zhuang Bai's hands. Though he didn't know its exact function, he knew it was powerful. Zhuang Bai gripped the violent sword tightly and swung it with a roar. The violent sword erupted with a unique power, resonating with the array, instantly enhancing Zhuang Bai's law domain tenfold. Millions of sharp swords rained down again, and the giant golden sword, with a deafening roar, transformed into a golden dragon and charged at Wei Bowen. Wei Bowen's eyes widened, and he crushed 2 jade tokens in his hands. The tokens, one black and one white, created a black and white light sphere that enveloped him. Wei Bowen quickly cast several spells, shouting, "War God's Chain." Invisible chains flew out, entering his law domain and connecting all the ancient warriors. In an instant, all the ancient warriors roared in unison, also enveloped in black and white light spheres. The ancient warriors formed a human shield, protecting Wei Bowen. Wei Bowen knew that if he could block this attack, he would win. Zhuang Bai could only strike once, he couldn't launch a second attack. A minor god sovereign wielding a god sovereign level treasure was too difficult. Without the violent sword, Wei Bowen's plan might have worked. Zhuang Bai's power alone might not have broken his defense, but with the violent sword's tenfold enhancement, Zhuang Bai unleashed the full power of the golden sword. As the golden dragon collided with Wei Bowen's defense, his face changed drastically. He realized he had underestimated Zhuang Bai's attack. The golden dragon's power surpassed a minor god sovereign, reaching the god sovereign level. Though it lacked the support of the Lost Star River, it was still beyond Wei Bowen's ability to withstand. Wei Bowen knew he was doomed. His law domain collapsed, and the black and white light sphere lasted only half a second before being devoured by the golden dragon. The powerful ancient warriors couldn't withstand the sword rain. Wei Bowen didn't give up, using a secret technique to enhance his physical strength, his body turning iron-like. He refused to surrender, trying to block the attack. The golden dragon crashed through him and disappeared. Wei Bowen, now 10 meters tall, stood still, covered in wounds. After several seconds, he collapsed, his body shrinking rapidly. He was covered in blood, unable to fight any longer. Zhuang Bai panted heavily, having used all his strength in that strike. It would take him days to recover. The two were transported away, returning to the waiting area. Lin Moyu and Zhuang Bai were bathed in beams of light, and their conditions quickly improved. The severely injured Wei Bowen's wounds healed in an instant, and he leapt up, full of energy. Zhuang Bai also regained his spirits, with all aftereffects disappearing. Bathed in the light, they returned to their peak state. This way, they didn't have to worry about injuries from battles, and they could maintain their best condition for each fight. Lin Moyu smiled. "How do you feel?" Zhuang Bai laughed heartily. "Great." At this moment, he couldn't describe his feelings with any other word but great. The feeling of wielding God sovereign level power was something only those who experienced it could understand. Zhuang Bai had won and successfully advanced to the top 4. Lin Moyu smiled. "It depends on your luck. If you're lucky, you might get second place." By now, the top 4 were almost determined. Lin Moyu, Cheng Fei, and Zhuang Bai were confirmed. The last one was Dongfong Xi. He had the upper hand, and Shui Zilin's puppet army was heavily damaged. Shui Zilin had to withdraw 3 minor god sovereign level puppets. Her defense was gradually being breached by Dongfong Xi, and she was already on the defensive. Losing was just a matter of time. There was almost no chance of a comeback. Cheng Fei walked over, also watching the match between Dongfong Xi and Shui Zilin. Cheng Fei said, "Dongfong Xi isn't using his full strength." Lin Moyu nodded. If he used the power of the Lost Star River, he could have ended the fight long ago. Zhuang Bai said, "He must be holding back to deal with you. If he gets matched with you, I'll return the violent sword to you." Lin Moyu laughed. "No need, dealing with him is no big deal." Cheng Fei also smiled slightly. Zhuang Bai was puzzled. "What's so funny?" Cheng Fei explained what had happened in the second layer, and Zhuang Bai finally understood the extent of Lin Moyu's summoned creatures. No wonder Lin Moyu didn't need the violent sword. He really didn't need it. With God sovereign level summoned creatures, no matter how much Dongfong Xi struggled, it was useless. "I concede." Shui Zilin's clear voice rang out, and she was then transported away from the arena. Her ice defense was on the verge of collapsing, and she surrendered at the last moment. After returning, Shui Zilin joined the group. Chu Shang asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Shui Zilin shook her head. "I'm fine. I wanted to force out his trump card, but I failed." Lin Moyu smiled. "It's not important." With the 4 matches over, The Human Emperor Network announced that the next round would begin in 5 minutes. The semifinals and the matches for 5th to 8th place would take place simultaneously, without distinction. This rule dashed Zhuang Bai's plan to lend the violent sword to Chu Shang. The matchups were announced. Semifinals. Number 1 Lin Moyu versus number 3 Dongfong Xi. Number 2 Qing Fei versus number 4 Zhuang Bai. Matches for 5th to 8th place. Number 5 Chu Shang versus number 13 Shui Xing. Number 6 Wei Bowen versus number 11 Shui Xilan. The winner would advance. In the semifinals, the winners would compete for 1st and 2nd place, while the losers would compete for 3rd and 4th place. The audience's attention was once again focused on Lin Moyu. As the biggest dark horse of this competition, Lin Moyu had been surprising everyone since his appearance. Before the competition, he was already quite famous, and now he was a household name. People from all star domains were discussing Lin Moyu. This time, Lin Moyu's opponent is Dongfong Xi from Divine City. Dongfong Xi shouldn't concede, right? Of course not. Lin Moyu is the seed player recommended by the Vermilion Bird Star Domain's Domain Lord, while Dongfong Xi is the seed player from Divine City. They are from different factions. After the competition, Lin Moyu will likely enter Divine City as per tradition. Dongfong Xi might be his senior. Lin Moyu wouldn't go easy on him, right? Are you kidding? Lin Moyu isn't that kind of person. In this kind of competition, going easy would be foolish. In the audience, even the guests from other races were paying attention to Lin Moyu. They were here not only to watch the competition but also to gather information on the new human geniuses. Lin Moyu, as a dark horse, was especially noteworthy. Several god sovereigns discussed Lin Moyu versus Dongfong Xi, Vermilion Bird Star Domain versus Divine City. Who will win? Dongfong Xi is quite famous in Divine City. He has been honing his skills at the minor god sovereign level for years, not advancing to god sovereign just for this competition. Although Lin Moyu can summon minor god sovereign level creatures, the gap within the minor god sovereign level is vast. These summoned creatures alone aren't enough to deal with Dongfong Xi. I also think Dongfong Xi has a better chance. Besides his raw strength, I've heard Divine City has a treasure specifically for dealing with summoners. Do you think Dongfong Xi will use it? Who knows? If he does, Lin Moyu might have no chance. Look at Dongfong Xi's confident smile. He seems well prepared to deal with summoners. Most god sovereigns believed Dongfong Xi had the upper hand. They thought Lin Moyu was strong but still inferior to Dongfong Xi. They hadn't seen what happened in the second layer. Otherwise, they wouldn't say that. In the arena, Dongfong Xi looked at Lin Moyu with a confident smile, as if victory was assured. Lin Moyu found it strange. Does this guy really think he can beat me? Dongfong Xi said loudly, Lin Moyu, you're indeed strong. As a summoner, your advantages in previous matches were too obvious. I even suspected the rules were tailored for you, as every rule seemed to favor you. Fortunately, this final round uses the traditional one-on-one format, so your advantage is gone. Lin Moyu tilted his head, puzzled by Dongfong Xi's words. Is this guy crazy? He asked, what are you trying to say? Dongfong Xi sneered, you'll find out soon enough. This match is mine to win. As the match began, Dongfong Xi took out a disc-like object. With a shout, his law domain expanded, and the disc shattered. The shattered disc turned into countless light spots, merging into his law domain. Dongfong Xi's law domain transformed, becoming intangible and vast, covering the entire arena and beyond. Lin Moyu felt a slight pressure, as if something was sealed. Dongfong Xi sneered, this is the Forbidden Law Disc. Merged with my law domain, it can prohibit all spells. The Forbidden Law Disc prohibited all spells. Lin Moyu remained calm, testing and finding his spells indeed unusable. He noticed Dongfong Xi was also affected. Lin Moyu smirked, using a method that harms both sides. Impressive. Dongfong Xi laughed, unlike you, I can still fight without spells. Lin Moyu suddenly said, are you blind or have a bad memory? Dongfong Xi was puzzled, not understanding Lin Moyu's words. The next second, he understood. The golden light filled his vision, and the rapidly enlarging fist left Dongfong Xi stunned. By the time he reacted, Lin Moyu's fist had already landed squarely on his face. His head throbbed with pain, and his entire body was sent flying uncontrollably. Lin Moyu caught up to Dongfong Xi with even greater speed, delivering a flurry of punches and kicks, showing no mercy. Dongfong Xi screamed in agony, trying to fight back, but he found himself unable to use any spells. The Forbidden Law Disc was a double-edged sword, sealing not only Lin Moyu's spells but also his own. Dongfong Xi realized he had overlooked Lin Moyu's physical prowess. Lin Moyu possessed a powerful body, comparable to the mysterious physical form of the war god Hall's great strength, far surpassing his own. Faced with Lin Moyu's relentless storm of punches and kicks, Dongfong Xi had no chance to retaliate. Dongfong Xi roared, and a hazy, mystical Lost Star River appeared above his head. The Lost Star River was far less clear than that of a true god sovereign. Dongfong Xi had only undergone a partial baptism, so his ability to harness the power of the Lost Star River was limited. However, the Lost Star River was still a power of the god sovereign realm. Even a portion of it was enough to dominate all minor god sovereigns. The Lost Star River poured down, its immense power crashing into Lin Moyu, sending him flying. At this point, Dongfong Xi's face was bruised and swollen, and his bones were mostly cracked. Fortunately, he was a minor god sovereign and could withstand it. Had it been half a minute later, his body would have been completely destroyed by Lin Moyu. Dongfong Xi, feeling a lingering fear, thought, "I miscalculated this time, forgetting about your powerful body. I must admit, you are a formidable opponent, stronger than any minor god sovereign I've encountered." As he spoke, the Lost Star River flowed down, enveloping Dongfong Xi and protecting him. Lin Moyu waved his arm, "Your body is too weak, fighting you is no fun." Dongfong Xi snorted, "Who cultivates their body these days? No matter how strong your body is, what's the use? Now that spells are sealed, I can still harness the power of the Lost Star River. What do you have left?" The Lost Star River was not a spell but an ability. With spells sealed, Lin Moyu couldn't possibly withstand the Lost Star River. The Lost Star River rapidly expanded, its waves surging with immense power. The Lost Star River had many uses and was one of the primary means of combat for god sovereigns. Although Dongfong Xi was not a god sovereign, his ability to manipulate the Lost Star River was limited, but it was enough to deal with Lin Moyu. Unfortunately, he saw no panic in Lin Moyu's eyes. Lin Moyu's calm demeanor made Dongfong Xi feel uneasy. He decided not to delay any longer and directed the immense power of the Lost Star River towards Lin Moyu. In an instant, the entire law domain was filled with surging waves, and the attack swept towards Lin Moyu from all directions. Lin Moyu remained unflustered, with no reason to panic. The Forbidden Law Disc had indeed sealed his spells, but not all of them. At least the Skeletal Hell could still be used. This spell, led by Infinite Fusion, and based on the Chaos Law, combined multiple stellar-level spells, making it high-level and unaffected by the seal. Additionally, his two origin spells were also unaffected by the seal. Strong Soldiers, and Gathering Power, the two origin spells, were of such high level that the seal had no effect on them. Although he couldn't summon the undead army, it could still provide power for Gathering Power. A sword appeared in Lin Moyu's hand, a low-level True God Realm magical treasure. Dongfong Xi sneered, "A low-level True God Realm magical treasure, what's the use?" The next second, his eyes widened in shock. Lin Moyu's aura suddenly intensified, reaching the minor god sovereign realm almost instantly. "What kind of spell is this? How did you suddenly become stronger? Why wasn't this spell sealed?" Dongfong Xi couldn't believe it. There were indeed spells that could instantly boost strength, and quite a few of them. However, these spells typically only boosted 1 or 2 levels, with the best boosting 4 levels. But Lin Moyu had directly jumped from the 4th stage of the God King realm to the minor god sovereign realm, crossing 6 levels in an instant. Dongfong Xi felt a moment of panic but quickly regained his composure. "So what if you reach the minor god sovereign realm? You still can't withstand the Lost Star River's attack. It must be a talent, not a spell. His talent allows him to instantly boost his realm, that must be it." Dongfong Xi seemed to find an explanation, regaining his confidence. At this moment, the Lost Star River's attack reached Lin Moyu. Dongfong Xi roared, and the Lost Star River enveloped Lin Moyu, its powerful attack crashing down on him. "Die!" Dongfong Xi roared in his heart, fully controlling the Lost Star River to attack Lin Moyu. Suddenly, a massive pressure surged, and the waves of the Lost Star River were repelled, flowing backward. Dongfong Xi let out a muffled groan, his body also being sent flying for nearly 1,000 miles. He stood high in the sky, looking at Lin Moyu in shock and disbelief. Not only him, but all the god sovereigns in the audience stood up, their eyes wide, staring at Lin Moyu in astonishment. The guests from other races, also god sovereigns, were equally shocked, unable to speak. Lin Moyu's aura was like a dragon, spiraling into the sky. Above his head, a gray-white Lost Star River shone brightly. Lin Moyu's Lost Star River was different from Dongfong Xi's. His was incredibly solid, indistinguishable from that of a true god sovereign. Compared to Dongfong Xi's illusory Lost Star River, Lin Moyu's was far superior. The Lostar River roared with waves, emitting a thunderous sound. Dongfong Xi muttered in disbelief, "How is this possible? How could you reach the God-Sovereign realm? From the God-King realm to the God-Sovereign realm in one step, what kind of talent was this? How could such a talent exist in the world?" He couldn't believe it, not even in death. Not only him, but even Shu Laozu in the Beyond Realm found it hard to believe. Lin Moyu had shocked everyone time and again, each time more terrifying than the last. With spells sealed, facing Dongfong Xi's Lostar River, Lin Moyu could only counter with his own Lostar River. Using his origin spells and the power of billions of undead, he directly pushed himself to the God-Sovereign realm. His soul had already undergone the baptism of the Lostar River, allowing him to fully harness its power. At this moment, his combat power was no different from that of a newly ascended God-Sovereign. In fact, if he continued to push without restraint, he could be even stronger than a newly ascended God-Sovereign. However, his current state was more than enough to deal with Dongfong Xi. Upon reaching the God-Sovereign realm, the seal of the Forbidden Law Disc lost its effect. The Forbidden Law Disc could only seal spells below the God-Sovereign realm. Once he reached the God-Sovereign realm, the seal was nullified. Lin Moyu didn't bother explaining further. To someone like Dongfong Xi, explanations were a waste of breath. With a light swing of the low-level True God Realm sword in his hand, Lin Moyu didn't use his full strength or the power of the Lostar River. As for spells, although the seal was broken, he didn't use them. He couldn't use too much power, or he might accidentally kill Dongfong Xi. He only used the most basic God-Sovereign power, sending out a sword energy. The low-level True God Realm sword in his hand shattered into powder with a swing. Dongfong Xi had no way to dodge Lin Moyu's attack and was instantly engulfed by the sword energy. Dongfong Xi was filled with terror, feeling like he was about to die, truly about to die. When he came to his senses, he found himself back on the resting platform. The Human Emperor Network was announcing Lin Moyu's victory and advancement to the finals. Dongfong Xi's consciousness finally cleared completely. He knew he had lost, and he had lost fair and square. He had his trump cards, but so did Lin Moyu. In the second layer, Lin Moyu hadn't even revealed his trump cards. Now he understood that Lin Moyu's greatest strength wasn't summoning the skeleton army but his own power. Thinking of Lin Moyu's final transformation into a God-Sovereign, with the Lostar River above his head, Dongfong Xi felt a chill in his heart. He felt a sense of despair, realizing that living in the same era as someone like Lin Moyu was a kind of sorrow. He looked to the side and saw Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu also noticed Dongfong Xi's gaze and turned to look at him. Their eyes met in the air, and Dongfong Xi bowed to Lin Moyu. "Thank you, junior brother Lin, for showing mercy." If Lin Moyu hadn't held back with that last sword strike, he would have been injured. But now, he wasn't hurt at all, and he was aware of this. Lin Moyu calmly said, "Senior brother Dongfong, there's no need to be polite. We are just competing, not life and death enemies." Dongfong Xi smiled and said no more. Previously, he had many opinions and much dissatisfaction with Lin Moyu. But now, he was completely convinced. The gap between them was too vast. They were not on the same level at all. The battle between Lin Moyu and Dongfong Xi ended, causing a huge stir outside the arena. Wow, Lin Moyu actually summoned the Lostar River at the end. How did he do that? Isn't he at the God King realm? How could he summon the Lostar River? What's impossible about it? Maybe he has some secret technique. I don't think it's a secret technique. It could be an extremely powerful talent. No matter what, Lin Moyu had shown the entire human race that he could elevate his combat power to the God-Sovereign realm at any time. There were quite a few spies from other races within the human race, many of whom were controlled by various secret techniques. They would inevitably pass on this information. By then, there would be many who would try to kill him. Lin Moyu was well aware of this. He knew that even if he only displayed the combat power of a minor God-Sovereign, those people would still come to kill him. Since that was the case, he might as well show even more strength. He was telling others that if they wanted to kill him, they would need to send stronger people. In a situation where those at the Beyond Realm couldn't make a move, only God-Sovereigns could target him. However, those peak God-Sovereigns, like Zhu Tian, were also monitored by the human race. Even high-level God-Sovereigns were under surveillance. Both sides restricted each other, making it difficult for anyone to act easily. So, those who would come to kill him would only be low or mid-level God-Sovereigns. Lin Moyu wasn't afraid of these people. Against low-level God-Sovereigns, he could completely counter-kill them. Against mid-level God-Sovereigns, even if he couldn't counter-kill, he could still protect himself. Similarly, those who wanted to kill him had to be prepared to be killed themselves. The wealth of a god sovereign was far greater than that of a god king. As his combat power continued to increase, his elemental liches were falling behind and needed better materials for upgrades. Better materials required more points. Lin Moyu realized that he was still very poor, extremely poor. His eyes sparkled as he thought to himself, killing god sovereigns should be quite profitable. Chu Laozu had been observing Lin Moyu and noticed the look in his eyes, muttering to himself, this kid seems to be up to something. He's deliberately exposing his strength. What is he planning? The battle between Qing Fei and Zhuang Bai also concluded after a while. The result was somewhat unexpected but within Lin Moyu's expectations. The two exchanged a few symbolic moves, and then Qing Fei conceded. She directly gave the second place to Zhuang Bai. Qing Fei chose Zhuang Bai over the ranking. After the match, Zhuang Bai looked a bit conflicted. Lin Moyu patted Zhuang Bai's shoulder, congratulations. Zhuang Bai was puzzled, congratulations for what? Lin Moyu smiled, senior brother Zhuang and senior sister Qing Fei make a good match. Zhuang Bai whispered, junior sister Qing Fei is very outstanding. Lin Moyu nodded, no need to whisper. Senior sister Qing Fei can hear you. He gestured with his eyes, and Zhuang Bai realized that Qing Fei had already appeared beside him. He immediately thanked her, junior sister, thank you. Qing Fei smiled but said nothing. Lin Moyu said, senior brother Zhuang, give the violent sword to senior sister Qing Fei. The implication was clear. Since she gave you the second place, you should give her the third place. Zhuang Bai quickly handed the violent sword to Qing Fei. After all, he had no use for it now. Competing with Lin Moyu for first place was out of the question. Even with the violent sword, he would still lose to Lin Moyu. Qing Fei accepted the violent sword without hesitation. After using a detection spell, she understood its purpose. With it, she was confident she could defeat Dongfong Xi. Previously, she wasn't sure, but now she had no doubts. The matches for 5th to 8th place also concluded. Chu Shang and Wei Bowen won their matches and would compete for 5th and 6th place, while Shui Xing and Shui Xilan would compete for 7th and 8th place. The 4-star domains competition had reached this point, and the rankings were almost set. First place undoubtedly belonged to Lin Moyu, as Zhuang Bai wouldn't compete with him. The 3rd and 4th places would be decided between Qing Fei and Dongfong Xi. Chu Shang and Wei Bowen would compete for 5th place. Lin Moyu knew that Chu Shang wasn't Wei Bowen's match, so 5th place should go to Wei Bowen. As for Shui Xilan and Shui Xing had always been Shui Xilan's follower and wouldn't compete with her. Most likely, Shui Xing would concede, giving Shui Xilan 7th place. Although they didn't make it to the top 3, it was still a very good result for the Black Tortoise star domain. Many observers had already analyzed the likely outcomes. The most anticipated match in the final round was between Qing Fei and Dongfong Xi. The other matches were less interesting. Soon, the final round began. At the start of the battle, Zhuang Bai immediately conceded, giving Lin Moyu the first place and taking the second place himself. The top 2 spots were taken by contestants from the Vermilion Bird Star domain, marking a highlight moment for the domain. Zhu Tian's face beamed with pride, the happiest he had been since becoming the domain lord. At his level, aside from the unattainable beyond realm, reputation was the most important thing. This time, the Vermilion Bird Star domain taking the top 2 spots in the 4-star domains competition was a true highlight. In contrast, Bai Binger's face was the most sullen, as the 2 contestants from the White Tiger Star domain had been eliminated early, not even making it to the top 8. Wu Da chuckled, satisfied that the Black Tortoise Star domain had 2 contestants in the top 8, even if they were the last 2. Yi Qingshan was also in a good mood. Qing Fei has great potential and is worth nurturing. Zhu Tian laughed, it's hard to say if Qing Fei will remain in the White Tiger Star domain. Seeing the interactions between Qing Fei and Zhuang Bai, the 4 domain lords knew what was going on. Yi Qingshan snorted, Qing Fei doesn't have to marry out. Our Azure Dragon Star domain allows for matrilocal residence. Zhu Tian shook his head, Zhuang Bai is from the Zhuang family, whose ancestor was a hall master of the War God Hall. Such a person wouldn't marry into another family. Yi Qingshan retorted, Qing Fei is also from the Qing family, not much inferior to the Zhuang family. The 2 old men argued, neither willing to back down. Bai Binger and Wu Da were used to this and didn't pay much attention.